All right, and welcome to Time to Be Reasonable. I'm Frank, and this is our long-awaited special, the nap or the slap. And of course, I came up with that title mainly just to get people to watch. To be honest, and we'll probably talk a little bit about it, but just as a kind of a, I guess, way really to talk about the nap and in principle anyway. But so as I'm sure everybody knows, we had an incident where Will Smith ran up to Chris Rock and slapped him after his basically after his he made a joke about his wife and
Yeah, he so my mother-in-law and my nephew both have alopecia, right?
mm-hmm.
And my mother-in-law, I've never known her to have hair. My nephew, his fell out at like 7, 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of get this a little bit, right? Like if you're outside, like at the bar, and someone's staring at somebody incredibly rude,
Yeah.
maybe you say something, right? But when
Mm-hmm.
as a comic, you know that everything is on the table.
Right.
Like, are you kidding? Like,
Right.
if Chris Rock would have been any bigger, he would have beat his ass.
He must have been. I don't know if he was in shock. I don't. I've even heard. I watch a lot of wrestling, and I've even heard some of the wrestlers say that it looked like it was a work. There's some weird things about it because Chris Rock does step into the slap, which is really strange. Like if you ever watch it, he does step into it, and he puts his hands behind his back before it happens, which wouldn't be how
Yeah,
I would take a slap.
yeah, he it was weird. It was almost like he thought, like he expected Will Smith to do something, but I don't think he expected him to hit him. Maybe play
Yeah.
with him or mess with him in some way. But to hit him, like, I don't. At
This is
first, I was fully like, okay, this is all staged. But at this point, it's hurt Will Smith so
yeah.
much that if it was staged, they need to say something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if that was a plan, if the plan was, well, I'll say something, you'll look like a man, we'll be good to go, or something like that, But no, this is
We're
not.
three
It's
weeks
not. This is
later.
not helping. It's not helping anymore.
No, at this point, Will is in trouble. Like he has movies that people are wanting to take away, and it's, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
but he was wrong. That's the thing.
yeah.
Will Smith was legitimately wrong in that moment.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
like there couldn't have been a more tame joke than that.
No, I know. I remember like I was like okay. I was like honestly I remember the joke and like kind of going I don't get it. Okay, whatever. And then like I hear him go, "Oh, well, wait a minute now," and then like, and then I see Will Smith coming at Chris Rock and smacking him. And I'm like going, "Okay, I don't know what happened." And it like I thought, "Oh, okay, this is a bit. It's got to be a bit, because like I do sketch comedy, so I figured, oh, it's a bit, And
Yeah,
then it's like, no, wasn't a bit. I'm like, I don't know, weird. But then,
yeah. I mean, it made no sense, but like for sure, like I didn't even know the Oscars was happening that night. Like I haven't watched an award show in 10 years, but
yeah,
I had no idea until the next morning when I woke up and everyone was talking about it.
yeah,
But it was like, yeah, I mean, and then, so I don't think Chris Rock could have ever in a million years envisioned that kind of response from that kind of crowd,
you're right.
right? I mean, like these are all millionaires, so they all have a lot on the table, a lot that they have to take care of and protect for themselves. Who in his right mind would have assumed that? I mean, literally, and what more? How more of a tame joke could you have told than teasing someone about having short hair, right?
Yeah,
And let's be real, his wife looks like a goddess. Like she's hot. Like who cares?
I know she's just missing hair, and it's like it's not a big deal, and it's certainly I've never found it to be a big deal with African Americans. Like I've always, like short hair to long hair, that's pretty much the gambit. So to me, it's never been a big thing.
No, like
But
literally, she's had every style of hair, and she's been look
yeah,
perfect. Like so again, like the insecurity that Will Smith must have, and then everything else that has been exposed over the last couple of years. Maybe all just at one time, but I thought it was funny.
So what I want to get into, and I this show is kind of made for everybody at all levels. So I like to explain things, and so just to explain the idea of the non-aggression principle for those that are new to it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, really. It's but the idea being that you don't aggress upon other people, or you don't take aggressive action on other people.
Yeah.
And so obviously within this framework, someone's talking, speaking in words, and then you smack them, not acceptable, and certainly a violation of the NAP, because like the guy's exercising his free speech, and then his response is to attack it. Not acceptable.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear a lot about like words or violence, and there's only one circumstance to me where that can be even remotely true, and that's when you can no longer escape them. Someone has you cornered, like
Right.
Shut them up, right? But like in any other instance, like come on, like it was so egregious, because again, no one in a million years would have expected Will Smith, who is about to receive an award, to physically assault somebody on TV.
Right.
And then just if I had done that, I'd be in jail right now still. Like let's
Right.
just be honest. Like let's not pretend like he doesn't have his own set of privilege, because I mean, as a brown man myself, like I know for a fact that I would be sitting in a jail cell.
Right. But so then this brings me to the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about, which is just the non-aggression principle and how it's it seems to be changing, and I don't know exactly where. Like, I think that what I just said is pretty much the basis for the non-aggression principle, but what I've heard lately is, like, I had somebody say, was talking to somebody else on Facebook, and basically said, hey, you just violated the NAP, and it's like on Facebook, that's that's still words, so you know what I mean, that's not.
So like I said, I mean, I guess there could be a circumstance where words could be a violation of the NAP, but it's when they're no longer escapable, right? And they may not be true, and they're right there in front of you. Facebook certainly doesn't meet that. I mean, block.
I think, like, as far as that goes, especially in this case where it was just like somebody responding on a thread in the libertarian group. So not even like if it's on your wall and someone's like, even then you could still just like get up and walk away from your computer at your worst case scenario.
Change the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Be like,
hit home and start over again.
Yeah, it's like I'm not dealing with Twitter anymore, or I'm not dealing with Facebook
with this
or whatever
person. I mean, the block key is great. Like I'm not allowed to block people now, but I mean, I used to take advantage of it.
I only have 2 people that I've ever blocked on Facebook, just because, and it was only because they were pursuant. Everybody else I just would unfriend, but if they're pursuant, like if they want to start affecting my life on a regular basis or follow me from thread to thread or something weird like that, then I'll block them. But other than that,
again, when they become inescapable, like that's exactly what it's for, But a normal person you interact with, positive or negative, like I've gone through on my list on, every day you get your memories on Facebook. And I've gone through and I've seen where I've had like words with other libertarians, and then other weeks we have ones where we're supporting each other. It's at no point would I ever be vindictive and be like, well, that guy said something to me in the libertarian group,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna follow him for weeks and months and harass every single post.
So what are your thoughts on that? Like all of the internal conflict that we as libertarians have, like what are your
It's utterly useless, right? And let's not pretend like there's any good guys or bad guys. Like I'm completely beyond that. Like I am a member of the Mises Caucus. Like I am down, right? Like it's what brought me into the caucus. Matthew Ryan Butts harassing me until I showed up to a meeting. You know, guys like Zach Kincaid helping me write speeches. Like the Mises Caucus has definitely gone to bat for me, but so's the party, right? But I look at it like this, Frank. I am so busy. And if I was campaigning or not, right? Even if I wasn't campaigning and I just had a job and a family, I would, and doing Liberty on the side, I would be so busy doing those things that I would never have time to argue with somebody who I agree with over 90% of the time. Like, are you kidding me? I don't agree with my wife that much and we don't argue at all. Yeah. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I agree with libertarians more than I agree with my family members.
Yeah. A lot of times it's nuances, and it's like, why are we arguing over these nuances? And the other thing that I find really strange is it's like, you know, the size of the party and how much more it needs to grow. And it's like, I don't know, it's all like, you know, 100 people arguing over a VW bus or something. I don't know, like a real small, you know, thing.
So somebody made a comment. They said that the takeover was going to make the party irrelevant. All right. So let's start there and let's just assume that they're right. All right. Sure, whatever you say. And then they argue that nobody's a real libertarian except for them. Right. And then I'm talking specifically about the old timers, those who are here first. And again, these are people that I have no problems with. They've supported me in my campaign. They're my friends in person. Like I don't have problems with literally any. There's probably 2 people in the entire party that I just don't want to talk to. Everyone else I'm completely good with. But they act as if that they're the only ones who keep the party relevant. Okay, Jeff Hewitt ran in a runoff race, right? Imagine if every single real libertarian in California voted for Jeff Hewitt. He got like 0.3% of the vote. That's how relevant you are right now. Not even 1% of the vote. So yeah, like the idea that we're arguing over anything of substance is laughable, and really it's intellectually dishonest. Yeah. Because nothing that we have right now is relative. I mean, you still see libertarians, they're Republicans, and they say, well, I'm really a libertarian. That's as relative as it is, in the mainstream culture. Beyond that, Ron Swanson is literally the most libertarian person that the average American has ever been exposed to. Are you considering that to be relative? Like, what are they protecting? What are they gatekeeping? You know? And then, so I joined the party during the middle of the Joe Jorgensen campaign, right? And I heard Joe Jorgensen say on more than one occasion, everybody's a libertarian. They just don't know it yet. We spout it every 4 years like it's like we're supposed to. Okay, so let's assume that's true too. So now you're arguing that the people that are coming in to take over aren't libertarian? Because I believe this. Everyone is a libertarian. They just don't know it yet. The reason why is because they've been lied to and manipulated by the duopoly. So all we're doing is going into the niche that makes sense for us and recruiting from it and helping people understand that they're mispolitically aligned. Now, there's also people that do that to Democratic groups. They're just not doing it as well, and there's not as many of them. Once they figure that out, and then we're really going to be rocking. Then it's not going to matter anymore. We're going to have so many people in the tent that we're going to whip everyone's ass.
I think it was very interesting to me that there was like so many people that were against, like, for instance, running Vermin Supreme because they were like, oh, well, it'll ruin our reputation. And it's like, but it would get attention where we don't have attention. And attention is what we need because clearly we're not moving the needle, guys. So we need to do things. And, you know, so making sure to not rock the boat is not really something we need to do.
Yeah. So you got to look at it this way. We've ran people who we would consider right-wing as libertarians, certainly. We've also ran people that libertarians would consider centrist, like Joe Jorgensen. We've also ran people that we consider to be really weak, like Bill Weld.
Yes.
Right? We've already ran the gamut. Who cares if we want to run someone crazy at this point? Because nothing else.
And still more organized than when I watched the national convention when I was very young. And that was when every single member had to vote
Oh, wow.
because they didn't have it in you know, like in states or anything like that, because that would be too oppressive. So then, sometimes it's like what is considered oppressive and organizational is different. It's like,
Oh yeah, definitions have changed. Like we regularly talk about like hippies were all anti-establishment and they're today's progressives.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, definitions change unfortunately, and it's the way that people view things and it's the way that people value things. So one of my dogs, all right, we have rescues, like always get rescues. His name's Striker, he's a big black pit bull. He loves
Mm-hmm.
me. He's my buddy. He's whining at the door. He literally whines anytime I'm within like 100 yards of the house. My wife says, I know you're coming home because the dog freaked out. So one of the kids came in. He's standing there just like watching me.
So, as far as you're still running for Kern County, and
Mhm.
what do you need from best case scenario, we get lots of views. What do you need from the party what do you need from a person watching right now to help get you elected?
And the first thing is they need to go to my website. It's listed under my face right there, cardenforkern.com. Helps improve the algorithm. Then they can go to social media. They can go to Facebook or Instagram and do the same. They can go to Carden for Kern. They can interact with posts, pictures, sign up. Make sure they also sign up for emails on the website. If anyone wants to give, that's awesome. You can give up to $500. Um, you know, in the next couple weeks, maybe I'm going to say in the next probably 3 weeks, we're going to start phone banking and text banking. And that's where I'll really need help. So you can be anywhere in the country and you can text bank for me. So
Right.
you could be anywhere in the world really in text bank. It's pretty cool. It's a way for, especially as libertarians, it's a way for us to kind of harness those numbers that we do have that are kind of spread out, and we could help individual candidates incredibly effectively by helping each other. So I've helped text bank
Like
for
text
Colorado.
banking, huh? Okay.
Yeah, we text banking for Colorado for a guy last year, and
Mm-hmm.
he we contacted, I think I want to say every number that they had, every registered voter in his county, and like or in his jurisdiction within just a couple hours. There were so many of us doing it. So that's one way that if you have a libertarian that you like in another state, reach out to them because you can text bank, and it can make all the difference. And you can easily send 1,000 a day if you really wanted to.
Okay.
If you're in Kern County or even LA County, you can come into Kern and we can do work. I'd like to start planning some more service days, just community cleanups, park cleanups, things like that. People really enjoy seeing that you're going to be in action. So I've been chairing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fairs, like tabling a lot of fairs and stuff. So I've got
Mm-hmm.
fairs coming up almost every week from now until the primary, which is June
Okay.
7th. I am in a primary with a 3-term incumbent running for his 4th term. And there is another Republican. His name's Peter Graff, whatever. He's a nice guy, but he used to be a cop, and he's decided to run too. I think that policy-wise, there's not even close. I mean, I'm excited for the debate May 19th. It'll be on kget.com at 7 p.m. You could watch it. Just tuning in and supporting. Helping be loud on social media. Donate money. I mean, $20 is $20, man. I mean, every little bit helps. You got to look at it this way. When we're talking flyers, Frank, I pay like 2 cents a flyer.
Sure.
So $10 is a lot of flyers. So
Oh yeah,
people
I
need
understand.
to,
Yeah, for sure.
so it's good to get donors to understand that you don't have to donate a lot. $5, $10 at 2 cents a flyer, at $2 a sign, it really adds up.
Yeah, I understand. And I know you're going against massive war chest. Well, maybe not massive war chest, but
Yeah, he
fairly
spends a lot of
large.
money.
I mean, most of the big campaigners, like incumbents, are spending like about 50, 75 grand, something like that.
Yeah, he'll probably spend 10. He'll probably spend 100 grand.
Yeah.
You know, it all gets paid to a consultant. It's literally just a funneling fee for the GOP. You know, the same consultant does his campaign, does Kevin McCarthy's, and did Donald Trump's California campaign. Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those guys. So yeah, I mean, I picked a good one to run against. Let me tell you, he's probably got the second and third highest name recognition in the county, behind Kevin McCarthy. And he's got a massive war chest. He's a 20-year career politician. I do have a couple things that are going for me as the only non-Republican in the race. I've been outreaching a lot to the Democratic voters, and just talking about what they want to talk about. You know, on the 30th of this month, I'll be taking part in a town hall for the California Retired Adults Association, California Association of Retired Adults. But they're going to all be mostly union members that are worried about their pensions, you know, and worried about their way of life, because we've made promises to them that unfortunately at some point aren't going to be able to be kept, you know. And so it's been really cool to not just, most of us, our experience is exposing Republicans to libertarianism because of guys like Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, you know, these guys who are liberty Republicans. But I am exposing the Democrats to libertarianism, and they have the same responses, you know. The people and it's because we, as libertarians, we look at everybody as being inherently good. So we don't start off thinking they're idiots because they're Republicans and Democrats, right? We start off understanding they've been lied to, and then we meet them where they are, and we talk to them and find out your commonalities. And it's not as hard as people think, you know. So it's been fun. The best part about the campaign has just been meeting my friends and my family and my neighbors and the people that I've shared my life with through sports over the last 30 years. And I mean, I've met guys in other towns in the district that I played Little League against when I was like 8 years old. You know, that's 30 years ago, man. Like, it's been pretty cool, like how connected we are. I mean, in a small county, like Kern County is not the large population county that LA is. So it's, you know, I've seen the same people my whole life.
Well, I got a couple questions for you before you go. And we're starting a new thing, just asking some exit questions that are kind of fun. Craig Kilborn started this on The Daily Show a long time ago.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like fun questions, whatever. More libertarian vented. But so I guess with 4 figures of libertarians, just put them in any order. Rothbard, Ayn Rand, I don't know, Gary Johnson, or and Ron Paul. Why not?
Oh man, you got like 2 different lists there. There's like a modern and a classic. All right, so Rothbard, then Ron Paul, and then Ayn Rand, then Gary Johnson.
Okay. And what does libertarianism mean to you? This question was brought up in a group, and I thought it's a pretty good question.
So it's the answer to the lesser of two evils argument, right? That's what libertarianism is. And what's the lesser two evils argument is the most selfish decision that an adult can ever make, right? Because what it is it's saying that you're okay with sacrificing your children's tomorrow for your today. So to me, libertarianism was about finally growing up and realizing that taking advantage of these things are incredibly important, you know, and being part of the political process.
All right. And what's your favorite show right now?
Oh man, so I watch all the Chicago shows: Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. I watch those; are my favorite. I watch those every week. The Good Doctor. Oh man, I love that show. It's the guy, he has savant syndrome, and he's like he's mildly autistic, but he becomes a surgeon. That show's dope.
It's funny. I watch a lot, or I've seen a lot of the end of the Chicago shows because when I go in for my treatment, they'll have the TV on, and that's what they'll have the TV on. A lot of times, it'll end up being on the Chicago things.
Yeah, those are those are good. I like when so a couple times a season they'll do what's called like One Chicago, and it'll just be 1 3-hour episode. So those are pretty cool.
Now let's say that this is a little bit of a hard one, but I think I'm going to ask everybody this. The opposite direction. So let's say the takeover doesn't happen and the missus ends up being, just doesn't end up taking all the positions like they intended. What will you do at that point?
Nothing changes. That's just it. That's where they've got our entire agenda wrong. Is that for them, if we win, they think everything changes for them. But if they win again, nothing changes for us. Nothing changes for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and quite frankly, it's inevitable. I mean, even if it's not this year, it's very obvious where the growth is coming from. It's very obvious who's recruiting. I mean, so nothing changes. I still chase liberty. I will still teach others to run for office, even if I lose, right? I'll help recruit people to run for office. I'll help teach them to run for office. I'll help them give their speeches. I'll do whatever I can, because that's all that matters. If you really think about it, like if you go online and look, the side that keeps talking about the takeover isn't the side that's going to be taking over. Because for us, it's just business as usual.
But so would you have any parting thoughts on?
Oh, man. You know what? I was going to talk about something when we first came on, but I forgot. So just, guys, go on the website, check me out. Check www.takehumanaction.com. Check out the Mises Caucus. Get involved. Go to your groups. It doesn't matter. I don't care what party you're a part of. It just need to be involved with the political apparatus that you have, and chase liberty. That's how we do it. Is we help people understand what liberty is, and that's how we win. We don't win by being assholes. We don't win by being jerks. We win by being people who know how to frame liberty in a way for more people to understand.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And
yeah, man.
So that's cardenforkern.com. And
yeah. So I do have one more thing. Sean Osborne, who is from the Libertarian Party of Los Angeles, he released an album this week. And one of the tracks, I think it's track 9, he is donating all royalties to the Mises Party, the Mises Caucus. I do not know the name of it right now. I will get it to you. But it's pretty awesome, and he does like cool, like folksy stuff. So he'll take like random old like children's tunes and turn them into something liberty minded, and it's pretty funny.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, kind sir.
Thank everybody for tuning in. And this was Time to Be Reasonable.